Hello, I'm back. Time for a full startup of the Airbus, Phoenix Airbus. Any of them will work for. It's also for the same friend, and we'll be doing a cold, just kind of the full process from a cold and dark all the way through. So today we're in Orlando, heading up to Charlotte. Should be a good one. Take a quick look around the plane. Engines generally look okay. Everything's fine here. Nothing looks all explodey. Some warnings. Engine looks good. Everything's good. Very nice. Very nice. It's what we like to see. Very cool. Very cool. As always, as we continue, once again, it's 934 Alpha Alpha, which is usually my preferred choice of airplane. At least for the A321, because it's not like a super special livery, but it's one that's just in the Phoenix Manager with this configuration. Everything looks a-okay so far. No issues. Inspection points will probably be added in the next update, I would assume, for Phoenix. But generally, plane looks pretty solid. Everything's ready to go. Looking back around, the front, all that. Looks quite nice. Let's get inside. Alright. iPad time. As we're not charging, we're losing battery. We'll import that from SimBrief. Let's get started. We're not going to use ground power today. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. So, let's start off. Batteries. Looks good to me. Looks good. Everything looks like it's starting to come up. So you like to see. Set our friends here to nav. Maybe she does need some ground power. But, for now, iPad, mass and balance, load, instant, kerplunk. Yeah, she needs ground power, I think. Once I want to do the APU. Yeah. She will do the APU this time instead. Oh, alright, we'll give her ground power. There we go. It seems the Phoenix didn't like that today. Displays are coming online. Select desired system. Self-test is in progress for 40 seconds. Turn off our APU. Stop looking like a goober. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or however many that is. Great. Current altimeter here in Orlando. 3007. Go to our friend here. Charts. Starred charts. Daytime, please. MTO starred 503 RNO departure. Top altitude Going south 7,000 feet. Punch that in our autopilot, rather our flight control unit, FCU. We're in thousands mode. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. Alright, INS is not yet aligned. So, init page. Visualization request. INS will be aligned in 5 minutes. Init. Align on reference in Orlando. Confirm. 4 minutes. Orlando. Departure. 17 right. 503. Via. Insert. Arrival in Charlotte. Arrival. ILS. 36 right. Stock car 5. I want to say. Oh, no, it's 4. My bad. Stock car 4 arrival. To sorry, stock car 4 arrival via checker. And it's going to be ILS 136 right via Hecam, which you already have in there. Insert. Great. Still aligning, but we can still do some other stuff. So we are American 461, AAL 461. Cost index today is going to be 5. Cruising altitude is 35,000 feet. Great. Punch over. So grab our load. Send to MCDU. Great. Performance. Takeoff performance. 7 right. Sync final load sheet. Sync live weather. Calculate. Send it to the MCDU. Great. That's all ready. Now we just need to wait for IRS to finish aligning, and we can begin the next part of that process. Actually, can do. You can armor emergency lights, seat belts, no smoking. Everything looks okay here. IOS is still aligning there. Everything's generally fine. Few minutes to INS align. This usually goes by a little bit better when you have controllers on. You still got to call off your IFR clearance and things like that. That kind of soaks up a little more this time, or in some cases the loading as well. But I did the instant load since that's probably what you're going to use. RS will align in 1 minute. Or less. Once it's aligned, this will flip over and then we'll regain our heading down here as well. This will rather become a map. It's always a pain to wait for it. There we go. IRS in alignment. Just turn on our transponder. So we'll go to close. TARA. Transponder on. System 1. I'll go to all for the traffic. It's not just above or below. That's all set. Those are good. We already did our performance, so let's go to our APU. Start that up. Automatic strobes. And we'll wait for APU to come up. We're almost there. 890. 100. It's available. Bleed. We're waiting for. Alright, we got APU bleed, so let's get out of here. GSX, prepare for pushback and departure. American Airlines. We're gonna lift up tug. Okay. Or their nose lift, or whatever you call them. It's fun to goof around with that. Alright. Let's go here. Ground services. Clear GPU gear, PCA, clear tracks and cones. Parking brake is on. Go depending on our orientation. Yeah, nose right, tail left. So let's release our parking brake here. Oh shit! Hold on. Turn these off. There we go. Forgot to set my engine stop after we stopped mid-flight last time. So let's just turn to ignition to start and then push engine 2 forward to the master switch to the on position, and that'll start the number 2 engine. Shit. Capacitor. Throttle still lever still idle too. Oh crap. Thankfully we didn't have any inputs in here, so assuming they didn't read that. I literally just came straight out of the old flight into this one. Cool. Alright. Engine 1's available, so we start engine 2. a giant ass tug for this small A321. Is it gonna clip? It's gonna clip. Yep. The tug is way too big. But engine 1's starting. Cool. Looks like both engines are now started. Will we be correct in that assessment? Engines are back into normal. Turn off our APU. Turn off our bleed. Let's set our trim, flight controls. We want a trim of up 0.6. Perfect. Check our controls. You can just from inside the plane too in the flight control menu, but this is a little more fun. Sweet, plane's all ready. So we'll release the parking brake. Hit our little chrome meter. Exits to takeoff. Aren't gonna need any runway turnoffs or anything like that. At least not yet. And we're out of here. We're gonna set flaps 2 for takeoff, since that's what the calculator gave us. Start making our way away. Toward the runway. So we're going to stay in the ramp for a minute here until we get to kind of the, what if I remember is the correct exit point in Orlando, but unfortunately I don't fly in and out of Orlando super often to remember. I believe Echo 2 is an acceptable release. So stay in here for now. Running a little timer for takeoff. Alright, auto brakes max. Spoilers armed. We already have our flaps. We already have our signs. Takeoff config test. Rather, our lights. There's a old version of the South Terminal Complex. Doesn't look like that anymore. It's now, there's a whole terminal down there. Unfortunately, the simulator does not reflect that. Unfortunately, some of the handcrafted airports just were not updated to their modern standards, which it is what it is, but what are you going to do? We're going to go over these bridges. In real life, go over trains and roads. And my terrain must be turned down way too low here. This should generally be smooth. Oh, the fact we're doing 28 knots, oh my gosh. Way too fast going up that hill. Continue our taxi. We'll take taxiway hotel up to the runway and get out of here. I'm gonna do the full climb up to up and past 18,000 feet, because after that point you really don't have to do too much. Second left turn onto hotel. Orlando can definitely be a long taxi if you have the wrong runways and the wrong parking position. In this, just like in this case, where American parks all the way over on the east side of the airport, and if you try to go over the bridge on the north side, it's really nasty, so you have to hook around the south up to the runway. But it happens. That's okay. Just a part of this kind of flying. I'm not sure if it would be much worse if I was going to the north or the south end of this runway, honestly. The one that does stink, though, is sometimes if you're landing north and you don't get off in time, and you're on the westernmost runway, having to take runway and you're going to the American terminal, having to go basically all the way around the entire airport. Or if you're very unlucky, going to the Terminal C complex for JetBlue. That sucks, because you have to go so insanely far. But we don't have to do that. Switch Navigraph charts. restrictions over here. Just ready to go. And we're going to assume you're clear for takeoff because we're not online with any traffic or any controllers. Just make the assumption. Turn-offs are on. Set that to taxi. Rather takeoff, my bad. Landing lights coming on. I think it was already set. After about 9.5 minutes, we're ready for takeoff. Set our power to flex. You're up. Autopilot 1 on because we're above 400 feet AGL. And this will fly our beginning of our path. And we're accelerating past the flaps retract, so we're going to hit F6 there. Levers to climb. And we'll start speeding up. In this case to 250 knots. As I hit Cape, and we'll exit at 140 degrees. Turn off our lights here, and run my turn-offs and our taxi lights. In our slats and our first degree flaps. Alright, 250 knots. Stay heading about 090. Kind of bring ourselves away from the airport laterally. Now that we know we're not in conflict with the airport at all itself, let's go to northerly heading, just 360. Just kind of vectoring ourselves out of the airspace. We're at 7,000. Don't give ourselves to climb once we are kind of all settled in. All right. And our cruising altitude, as we said before, was 35,000 feet, so we'll set our cruise, rather our altitude and our FCU to 35,000 feet. And we will push it in again for managed mode to re-enter managed climb to 35,000. Wait, we're on vectors, so we'll pull out for an open climb. And once we're north of the field, we'll go direct buffing. Even though we aren't really at any position where we would interfere, just to be sure. Alright, we're down north of the airfield. Direct. Buffy. Insert. Managed. Not that that's going to make a real difference here. $9,000 feet. Here we are, 10,000 feet. Gonna turn off our landing lights. My bad. Didn't quite grab them right. And our plane's gonna accelerate. 17,600 feet. We're now past through 18,000 feet, so we're going to switch to our standard barometric pressure. This will change, when you switch over, it will change based off what country you're in, but in the US it's always going to be 18,000 feet. Just a middle mouse on that, and you go on standard barometric pressure. You're set for the rest of your climb up to your cruising altitude. That's pretty much it for how to get this plane off the ground and away.